Each week I get the free game from the Epic Game Store. I have over 400 titles, and until the start of the series, I played less than half. A dozen. I've stopped calling myself a gamer and started calling myself a collector. Now I may never get through my back catalogue, but I can't stop it getting worse. Join me as each week I play through the latest giveaways, and maybe we find some gems along the way.
If looks could kill, she'd tear your heart to pieces and eat it. No reason, got venom in her lipstick, sadistic, I'm dead. If looks could kill, I'd be buried like 10 feet. Come get me, I'll dress it for a funeral. As usual, I'm dead. If looks could kill,
This week's first game was Citizen Sleeper. Citizen Sleeper is a narrative-driven RPG adventure with, quite frankly, too much writing for my tastes.
I was elected to lead, not to read.
After several minutes of just this, I was beginning to wonder if this was just a choose-your-own-adventure novel in digital form. Finally, breaking into the gameplay, you play as an android referred to only as Sleeper, whom has managed to run away from the corporate conglomerate that owns you. That's an up. You find yourself on a space station known as the Eye. As a runaway, you must survive as you strive for answers and try to acclimate yourself with the local society. Surviving means maintaining your condition, which will slowly fade due to planned obsolescence. Running out of energy will cause your condition to deteriorate faster. Energy can be maintained simply by purchasing food, and money can be earned by doing any number of various jobs around the space station. Activities are completed via the use of action dice. You will wake up with between 1 and 5 of these dice per day, or per cycle. This is determined by how healthy you are when you wake up. Action dice will be used to gather information, gather currency, expand the known universe, and further plot developments by completing drives. It doesn't seem possible to complete all of these drives in a single playthrough, so make sure you prioritize the ones that seem most compelling. Activities will have one of 3 outcomes: negative, neutral, or positive. The higher the value on the die chosen to complete the chosen activity, the more likely it is to produce a desirable outcome. Low-value dice aren't completely without merit though, as information or data is gained from the data cloud, which requires an exact value rather than just the highest. After a couple of cycles, you meet an information security specialist who claims he can disable the tracker putting you from SNR. From what I've heard, he does do this, but certainly wasn't before I was tracked down and extorted by a particularly smug bounty hunter. Most of this game is story, told in nothing more than written dialogue. There are no voiceovers, no cutscenes or animations, and almost no sound effects to help build ambience. Having said that, much of the dialogue is beautifully written and is definitely quite intriguing. After the initial prologue, I enjoyed this game. It was captivating, had an aura of danger, and just enough chance to be interesting. However, the gameplay did feel a little slow, and some interactions were forced, which railroaded this narrative a fair bit. I give this one a 7 out of 10. The other game this week was Robobeat. Robobeat is a rhythm shooter, and for the 4th week in a row, is a roguelike.
How long can this go on? How long can this go on?
You play as Ace, an apparently famous bounty hunter after your latest target, the eccentric robot showman Frazer. None of this was obvious in the game, and I had to get it from the Epic Game Store page. In fact, almost no story is explained in this game. I was taught how to jump, double jump, dash, and slide before being thrown in an endless pit and progressing to find myself fighting endless waves of enemies that just appear from glowing orbs around the level. This game has a vast array of enemies, from pink guy to yellow guy with sword, to pink guy with a hammer, to pink guy with a hat and staff, and lastly, floating eyeball turret. Shooting on beat will increase your damage. I presumed this meant choosing a song with a lower beats per minute would increase damage dealt, but it doesn't. I think I read a tooltip that popped up and said that lower beats per minute means slower enemies, but I was unable to find that in the recordings. And the Wikipedia page is almost non-existent. There is, however, a very extensive Discord channel linked directly from game. Completing some obscure challenge signified by a knife with wings, or by completing the level in under a certain time limit will unlock some additional rewards. Another feature about this game is custom tracks. You can add your own tracks and either let the game determine where the beats are, or you can set your own custom beats per minute. You can also find a variety of custom tracks created by the community in the Discord. I tried a few custom tracks, but this didn't increase the enjoyment of the game for me. If anything, it just decreased my enjoyment of the songs I uploaded. This game ran smoothly, and the included music was actually pretty good, but that's the only positives I could find. Level design felt very basic, and the weapon choice doesn't seem to make much difference at all. I give this game a 4 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to help the algorithm and to be notified about next week's quick review of Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 and Void Rot. And if you've played either of these games yourself, please drop a comment and let me know your thoughts.